Immigration has been one of the key issues in this year's British general election campaign, with all the main parties pledging to reduce net migration from the record levels the country has seen over the past 2 years. It looks increasingly likely that after the country votes on July 4th, Rishi Sunak will no longer be Prime Minister. The Conservative Party are set to be wiped out at the polls, and the Labour Party will win an outright majority. Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer will be the Prime Minister. So what will the change of government mean for those considering a move to live and work in the UK? Before we continue, if you've not already, subscribe to our channel for more on UK visas and immigration updates. Importantly, the tone of the debate around immigration in the UK will change. Increasingly under the Conservative Party, the language around immigration became hostile, and the debate over immigration became toxic. Immigration has been one of the key policy points of the British general election, with genuine concerns about the record high levels of net migration. Many potential working migrants looking at the UK as an option were concerned by what they saw and chose to relocate to other more welcoming nations, such as the USA or Canada. The truth of the matter is that while restrictions have been put in place on some visa routes, Britain still provides many options for those with the right skills who want to move there to work. And although the Labour Party remains committed to lowering net migration by reforming immigration policy, if it does win the election, the toxicity around the migration debate will likely disappear. The party's politics are centre-left, and any immigration restrictions are likely to be more pragmatic than some of those proposed by the Conservative government. The main thrust of the Labour Party's proposed immigration policy, as outlined in its election manifesto, is to implement a fair and properly managed immigration system. To do this, a Labour government will increase incentives for businesses to train local workers. Labour also pledges to strengthen the Migration Advisory Committee, MAC, which is the independent body that advises the government on immigration policy. MAC recently recommended keeping the graduate visa route following a commissioned review, so it is likely this will remain, which means employers will still be able to employ overseas graduates without having to meet salary thresholds. Other manifesto pledges include a proposed crackdown on employers and recruitment agencies who abuse the immigration system, with a vow to ban those found flouting the rules from hiring workers from abroad. The key to Labour's proposed overhaul of legal immigration will be the party's aim of linking immigration and skills policy. In essence, it will train domestic workers to do the jobs that overseas workers are employed to do. The party is determined to end what it calls the long-term reliance on overseas workers in some parts of the economy. It plans to do this through training initiatives and domestic recruitment. The health and social care and construction sectors are specifically mentioned. However, this is not as impactful as it sounds for Indian workers for 2 reasons. The first is the assumption there is an untapped vein of British workers who are ready to step in, get trained up, and fill the roles currently being taken by migrant workers. Historically high vacancy rates for jobs in the sectors mentioned suggest this isn't the case. Secondly, if there is an army of potential healthcare workers and builders, they will take time to be skilled up. On average, it takes a minimum of 3 years to train as a nurse and a minimum of 2 years to train as an electrician. In the meantime, Indian workers are free to take those roles. Skill shortage vacancies were most prevalent in health and social work, business services, and wholesale and retail, with construction. Information and communications and manufacturing sectors exhibiting higher proportions of skill shortage vacancies relative to overall vacancies. All these sectors need workers with the right skills now, and with perhaps the exception of wholesale and retail, they all require a level of training, much of which will be multi-year. The conclusion to draw from all this is that although there are pledges within the Labour manifesto, in the short to medium term, the party does not have much room to manoeuvre, beyond the changes already introduced earlier this year by the Conservative Party in terms of immigration reform. Bringing in restrictive measures too soon will put even more strain on sectors already struggling with shortages. This means there is still a supply of jobs for migrants and still a demand for migrant workers. If Labour can pull rabbits out of hats and does find the workers in the UK needed to fill skilled roles domestically, training this hypothetical army of workers up is a long-term endeavour, and in the meantime, employers will still have to look overseas. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell for upcoming updates.